How's it going, everybody? We know we're a day late to this event video, but we still got that juicy information for you, some news and some good strategies you can use to implement to get as far as possible in this Blitz event and also in the spending event, another spending event. Don't you love spending events, Scotty? Doesn't it just make your holidays brighter?
Yeah, I especially love it when they didn't tell us about it.
That is the funnest part about this. All right, let's not waste any time. Let's jump into it. First things first, we got a Blitz event, which I know makes you happy. It makes other people pull their hair out because we always meme about it. Blitzmas is here. Now, they might say, hey, it happened the day after Christmas. It doesn't count. Listen, if you as a company are going to take 2 months off for your Christmas vacation, other people don't want to be blitzing between the 24th and the 1st, okay? That's what we mean by Blitzmas. This is the holiday season. I don't want to have to make this video. I do, actually, because I like hanging out with Scotty. But we got a Blitz event for 7 whole days with a bunch of aspects. Okay, so there's an extreme orb fragment that's spender only, right, Scotty?
Yes. So, like, I like blitz events. I don't like these ones as much because I prefer it when we're actually blitzing for the orb fragments, because then you
Right.
can actually grind harder for the character. Like here, we have a pretty fixed amount of Nightcrawler shards. I'm guessing there will probably, well, actually, they'll probably give us Forge on Friday. But like, I prefer it more when you're like actually blitzing for the fragments.
Yeah.
But this one, like, it is 7 days long, and there is a lot of blitzing needed. The orbs themselves are great for people who aren't maxed on dark promotion credits, and they're also giving the dark diamonds, but they are offers. I mean, I think you get one in total from the free claims because you get 500 a day as a free claim.
Yeah, they're also in
Um,
the web milestone, I believe, in the winter
oh yeah,
world.
there's two of them, I think.
Yeah, it looks like there's exactly 2 of them. In milestones
Yeah,
8, 9, and 10, you're going to get 2 orbs there.
yeah.
Okay, and then otherwise, that's going to be spending power cores and then blitzing with Spider Slayer at 6 or 7, Lizard at 6 or 7, Green Goblin at 6 or 7, and Craven at 6, 7. So Goblin also has in at 5. So there's a bunch of different inputs for this. Now, this is attached to a very sought after leaderboard. We're going to get Nightcrawler shards. More importantly, though, it's going to be cracking it out for the Nightcrawler diamonds, which are not currently available in game, if I'm not mistaken. Are they? Is he available in the store for direct promo? No.
No one has seen him, and someone asked about it, and I assumed because he was in a leaderboard event
Right.
that he wasn't in there because that would make sense.
Right.
Because
Okay.
otherwise it's not as coveted, I guess.
Right on. So I get to check another lie off on the Scopely thing, because we were told that when a character comes to the game, their diamonds will be available just like Red Stars were on release. So I guess, oh, that's another lie. Anyway, let's continue with this event. This event actually doesn't look that bad. Finishing it is kind of crazy, though. So why don't you walk us through how we can finish this event? That is all 20 milestones.
So on the previous slide, it was just showing the web milestone, which
Yeah.
is for Blitz credits. It, as I've said before, it does depend like how much you're winning and what you're getting for drops, because sometimes people get like 1,000 for a drop. So obviously this is going to be much quicker. I had pinged people the day before just to save the daily objective that awards 750 Blitz credits, because that's quite a big chunk.
Mhm.
So technically you could have 8 days of that if you saved that objective right before the event started and then claim it before it ends. If not, it doesn't change it a lot, because I think it was like 2.9 something rotations a day if you didn't save it versus 2.8. But a lot of that once again depends on your luck. Like I'm halfway done it already and it hasn't even been a day yet.
Yeah.
So it's pretty quick, but it's about 3 rotations a day if you don't have good luck. And you are getting quite a bit from this. Like it gives you 30,000 milestone points directly. It gives you it gives you 2 of the orbs, but those are actually worth double. So it gives you about 8,000 points from those.
Mhm.
And then it also gives you 20K of the cold hard cash, which is the event store. So you can get quite a bit of stuff with that as well. So I would recommend completing it.
There you go. We don't normally talk about the web milestones because they kind of happen automatically, but if the rewards are this good, then it's good to give them a shout out. I'm also hearing in chat from Amel that Nightcrawler is actually available in the Diamond Orb. Just no boosted rates and not for direct promos. Direct promos would happen at the same time bumps kind of happen. So fair enough. I'll erase the lie check. Fine. All right, let's talk about this Blitz event, though. How are we going to finish this event?
Okay, so there are two parts to there's many parts to the blitzing. So there's the main battling in Blitz, so this is win or lose, and so there's the one that has a limit on it, which is giving you 75 points, and then there's the one that is giving you 25 points that does not have a limit on it. So I have them kind of broken down separately. To hit the limit, you need to do about 4.5 rotations a day, so round that up to 5, basically. A day, which obviously is going to very easily have you complete the web milestone. And then the no limit one, I did that for basically the full 7 days at the 8 rotations a day, because gives you basically an additional solid chunk of points. Battling with Superior 6, like there's 5 members, everybody has them, but even if you didn't, like the amount of blitzing you're going to be doing, you're going to easily hit the limit, but technically it's 14 battles with the 5 members to hit it. And then there is a limit on using the Craven, Slayer, Lizard, and Green Goblin at different star levels. So it's basically just using them once. So the first part is I always do like what the max is, I guess, with what you have to work with, depending on what offers you've bought or cord. So if you have all of these characters at 7, you still can't complete the event without spending, I think it was like about 2,500 cores a day.
Yeah.
As long as the free claim stays the same. Now, Friday is coming, so we often get some additional stuff. I can't really count on what that is just yet, but that they may give us maybe another orb, like one of the extreme orbs. But otherwise, those are just in the offers.
Right. All right, so milestone 19, so just one off the maximum. What are we looking at for that?
So I think this is a bit more reasonable for people. There is a fair number of people that will have Green Goblin at 7. I guess not tons, but I think it was top 500, right? So that's 500 people that would have him at 7.
Yeah.
There have been like orbs for him, so maybe people orbed him up. Like I think on the Dorks we still have him at 6, but so this isn't for everybody. And then kind of looking at like not everyone's going to have the other ones at 7, so maybe you only have one of them at 7. I think Craven was the one that came out first, so people might be more likely to have him at 7 because I think he's been in a pass as well since then. So this is basically having just like having Green Goblin at 7 and having one of the others at 7 and then the other ones at 6. Doing the free claims, blitzing as much as you can, but the 8 rotations a day and spending about 600 power cores per day. If you are missing one of these guys at 7 and it's not Green Goblin, then you need to make up an additional, I think it was like 15,000 points. So that is a lot of power cores that you would have to spend to make up for it. But I guess if you have a lot, you could. But that's another option, I guess, to still try to hit 19, sorry.
Yeah, there you go. All right, and then we have 18, which we're going to look at the rewards in a little bit, but I figure if you're not going for 19, settle for 17, because 18, although it looks like it's free, because we're not having to spend power cores, the rewards in there aren't that great. But why don't you walk us through what we need for 18?
So 18 is still maxing your blitz as much as possible, and then only having 2 of the character. Oh, wait, no, one of the characters, like the Craven, Slayer, and Lizard at 6. Still having Green Goblin at 6 as well. On top of that, but his 6 is worth more than their 6, so that's why I keep him separate from the other 3. Which I think is also interesting because he's, I guess, the more free-to-play friendly character. So I'm surprised that they did it that way, and didn't do it like the opposite with like the most recent one, which I think was Lizard, to make it harder on people. But they did it that way, which is great, but that's why I have them kind of separated. But this is spending no additional power cores. You can still hit 18. So I think 18 is probably the most reasonable, because even if, say, you're missing, you don't have anyone except Green Goblin at 6, you can try to make up that difference, because it's just like 5,000 points that you have to make up in power cores, and you are getting 4 points per power core. So that might be, if you're going to core Forge or Nightcrawler's Orb while it's still there, that's a way to make up for it.
There you go. All right, milestone 17, which I think is going to be a stopping point for a lot of people just because of the Superior 6 shard situation. Why don't you tell us what we got to do for that one?
So this is having none of them at 6 or above, not even Green Goblin at 5. So I felt like this was quite a minimum, and then you're still blitzing the 8 rotations a day. You can easily hit milestone 17. The monthly items are quite easy to get to, so I honestly just didn't do it because it was such minimal blitzing that I think most people are going to try it in this event, so I think it is worth going for the 17.
Right on, yeah, and the fact that it's 1 hour cooldown does kind of help get there a little bit easier, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's actually go over to the in-game part right now. Let's look at the rewards for this Blitz event. So we stopped at 17 for us, which is the extra 25 Nightcrawler shards. You see, milestone 18, this is why I wasn't too hyped on it. The 1,000 teal catalysts are nice, but the Elite 7, you know, take it or leave it. But then on milestone 19, that's the 40 Nightcrawler shards, which is obviously very, very nice. Now, I think a lot of people are hearing in chat, there's a little bit of concerns there. Now, what I would suggest you do is, because power cores are worth 4 points, if you don't have Green Goblin even at 5 stars, take that total, which I think is going to be 40,000 if you have none of the Superior 6 done. Take that total amount of cores, divide that by 4, divide that by 7. That's going to be the amount of extra power cores you're going to have to spend per day. And you're going to find that number to be around an extra 700 power cores on the track where you said 0. So just a little bit heads up there if you want to try and min-max your way through it. But I think milestone 15 is going to be very easy for everybody to hit. You can see the point differential between 17 and 15. It's nearly 100,000. Like, this is going to be blitz only. It's very friendly for the monthly event, right? That's why we didn't even bother tabulating it.
Correct.
Right. Okay. But the ugly side of this event, well, it's not really ugly. Like, you can just pretend it doesn't exist. The ranked rewards. So the top 20 people are going to get a 3 diamonds, 7 red stars, 180 Nightcrawler shards with 6 million ISO 5. And then it starts bleeding down and bleeding down. And if you go to the top 1%, you're still getting a nice 55 Nightcrawler shards. Remember, he was a 15 shard unlock, which is interesting. 2 7 red star pulls. That's what I'm going to start calling the Dawn Diamond Orbs. And 1 million ISO 5. So there are some goodies for other people, but I would caution people against trying to fight for this leaderboard unless you are a person who's always fighting for these leaderboards, because a big portion of this is going to be these orbs right here, right? These guys right here. What do we call them? The extreme orbs. Mm-hmm. The extreme orb fragment. This is going to be a big portion of it. Now, the good news is these orbs are they're kind of decent in game, which I think is going to lead to a lot of people, a lot of spenders pushing it really hard, not just for extra Nightcrawler shards, not just for the diamonds on it, but for the innards of these. Now, we had a little bit of a disagreement when it came to this right pillar, the dark promotion credit part, because the people that are, because this is spender only, you get the 2 orbs from the milestone, we're getting a couple from the daily claim, but for the most part, this is spender only on this orb. The Dark Diamond credits, I think this is going to be the biggest selling point, right? For your Horsemen, for your Undying characters, for your Quicksilver, whenever they're available, people want to directly promote them. The Dark Promotion credit part, I think, is great for Dolphins who don't have it maxed out. But, we're in contact with a lot of people who spend a lot of money, and a lot of them are capped. Why don't you speak to that experience a little bit?
I mean, they're capped, and what it turns into is Ultimus credits. And all you can really do with Ultimus credits is get character shards that they don't need because they max all those. So they're sitting with them max. But, I mean, the argument is still, if you have them max, it's because you always go for the characters when they're on the leaderboards, and you're getting their red stars that way, so you're never using the dark promos. So, like, yeah, you're capped, but, like, are you ever going to use those anyway? Because they're the reason you're capped, because I've never approached the cap ever. And I still have lots to promote. So are you ever going to hit that cap anyways? But at the same time, why is there a cap? There's no caps on silver promos, gold promos, diamonds, dark diamonds. So why do dark promos have a cap, I guess? It doesn't really make sense. Or a conversion into something so silly.
Yeah. It feels like whenever they implement something for the first time in the game, it gets entangled with this like spaghetti code that they just can't seem to unravel. So because they started it with a cap, because they didn't want people to hoard it all the way up to a new Horseman character that came out, because that's when they started the Dark Promo thing, right? because they started with a cap, I'm not sure if they can just erase it. But if they can just erase it, they 100% should, because there's no reason for it to be capped. For the big spenders, it's like you said, it's going to be exactly like silver promos are for somebody like me. I have 30,000 silver promos. Someone could have 4 million dark promos. They're still going to go for it on the leaderboards, because those are the kind of people that don't want to wait for those characters to get added to the store anyway. But the whole point about talking about this orb is that I just want to showcase there's some good stuff in this orb, particularly the Dark Diamond credits and the L4 ions, I think. So this leaderboard is going to be hotly contested, not to mention the Nightcrawler Diamonds, which is really in demand as well, because Nightcrawler is an amazing character. So just, buyer beware. If you're going to try and go hard on this event, just know it's going to be super competitive, but the Blitz aspect of it, I think, is actually kind of nice. Even though it's around the holidays, we're going to be getting some decent Nightcrawler shard amounts, and he's a very fun character, very good raid character. So kind of a win, right? You kind of like Blitz events, so what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I still prefer the ones where it's actually like the orb fragments themselves that I'm getting from it, because I feel like I'm not getting much Nightcrawler from this.
Yeah.
Compared to if it was the orb fragments, but I mean, I find Blitz is the only way to compete in an event without spending, so it's nice to be able to get pretty far.
Fair enough. Well, let's talk about an event where you cannot. You cannot get pretty far. We don't have any math on this, because honestly, this is just a copy paste from the last one, which was the Christmas one. This is just a spending event, is what it is. Now, this is the grand countdown where you can collect one sparkler, which is buy only from offers, or you can spend one Ultra Core. Now, Ultra Core is also, we only get it when we buy it with real money, right? Now, there is an efficient method for this. We're going to buy the sparkler offers with the power cores. And I mean, as somebody who buys a character, like you bought one Forge offer, and it got you pretty far, right? Like, how did you feel about those extra goodies you got for buying Forge?
Pretty good. And that was nice because it was just a bonus, because like I would have done that anyway. I think the miss was on the previous one where Nightcrawler had just come out and they didn't add those to his offers that were there after the fact.
Right.
So I think that was a miss maybe for that one. So this one, although it was like unannounced, that was a nice surprise of things that like you're gonna buy anyway. But like, just like I said last time, just like probably just think about this as like a bonus. Don't do anything you normally wouldn't do. If you're not going to spend money, continue not to spend money. If you were already going to buy an offer, then get what you can out of it. But it was like 7,500 Canadian to finish the event last time, which is like 5,000 American, I think, or maybe less.
Something like that.
So
yeah,
it's still gross. And I know people who got that champion diamond orb and just got dupes.
Ooh. Ooh, that's brutal. All right, so what we were talking about is for this particular Forge offer here on the left, this guy right here, the 1,000 cores. So the way you would efficiently do this is you would first go down, you would buy your power cores. Let's say you were to buy enough to get the one offer is going to be.
But it's most efficient to buy the 200s at a time.
The 200s at a time?
Yeah.
$25.
At least for our currency, if you break it down.
You save $5? What are they doing? Yeah, you would save $5. Scopely, what are you doing, Scopely? You would save like, $5 if you buy this.
Offers don't make any sense whatsoever.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, you would save $5 if you just buy the 200s at a time. That's probably.
But you would think if you buy buy in bulk, you would save money, but it's like it's one of the smallest offers that is the cheapest.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Anyway, so if you buy the 200 Ultra Core offer 5 times, and then you could buy one Forge, that'll get you the unlock, get you a bunch of his orbs here to have fun with, and it would get you 20 of the sparklers. That's going to get you 2,000 points, which in game is going to get you all the way up to milestone 11. You get some goodies. It's like Scotty said, it's just free stuff. The big miss here, I think, was the communication. Yes, we would have been upset that another spending event is coming, but people would have held off on maybe buying passes or spending money if they bought stuff elsewhere. They would have held off a little bit, and they could have double dipped here a little bit further. And yeah, to your point, if spending $100 gets you 2,000 points, you would need to spend $100 60 times. So yeah, $6,000 Canadian is what it looks like would be to finish this if you're able to get that Forge offer 60 times, which you're not going to be able to. So it's going to be more expensive because that's a very efficient way of getting 2,000 points. Now, I have a take on spending events. My take is that 2 back-to-back is crazy, especially at this price tag. This time of year, I guess some people, they want to treat themselves. Other people, normal people, I would say, not normal people, the majority of people are like, hey, I'm taxed from buying presents for all my friends and family and everything like that, right? It kind of, I feel like desperation almost. Like their fourth quarter must have been awful for them to have to do this to try and get a couple extra $1,000 out of the Krakens that kind of look at this and they're like, well, fuck it, here you go. How do you feel about 2 spending events back to back? You kind of said like, hey, just take it as extra stuff. You're going to spend money. It is what it is. But optically, what do you think this means?
I mean, they did something similar to this last Christmas. I don't think it was as rewarding, I guess, for spending, but there were like special offers, and I just remember there being like a present or something that was like in the offer.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, this is when they want to max things before the year end, so it makes sense to do it. And I don't know if it really made Kraken spend more, because like the offers were decent stuff, and it was kind of almost like a bonus. It's not like people were buying, well, at least I think a lot of people weren't buying offers specifically to make progress in this. The offers that had, like the previous ones that had the what was it, snowflakes or whatever, they were still like decent offers. Like there was ones that had like tons of gold, catalyst, dark promos, dark diamonds. So I think there are just lots of offers, and they want people to buy them, and this is just a little bonus.
Fair enough. Too rich for my blood. Now, it kind of brought me down this conspiracy rabbit hole when I started thinking about this. Like, with the introduction of diamonds, not a lot of people want to buy the diamonds, right? You were speaking on already kind of the duplicate situation when people got that big reward, how they got a duplicate on their 3 diamond pool. How the duplicate system feels really bad. The direct promotion system, it scales really high, starting from 0 characters, right? We have 250 whatever characters to pull from, so it's literally like pulling out of a haystack, right? Trying to pull the needle out of the haystack. I have concerns that because they were trying to put so much emphasis on diamonds, they laid off on the shards. Now, I think that's a good thing. Obviously, that's a good thing for everybody. But do you think it's possible that laying off on the shard, the money farming from us that they do for us to get shards, do you think that is hurting their bottom line more than diamonds are making them? You don't think so?
No.
Okay. Well, conspiracy here off then. I go with whatever Scotty says. That's why we get events done. That's why we are successful in other game modes. And that's why I'm happy. Hope everyone had a great Christmas. I wish everyone a happy New Year. Scotty, what do you got to say to the people?
Merry Christmas.
Super matched my energy there. Good job.
This is my energy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.